Hello, welcome back to SwansCast, and I'm joined again with Lee, or by Lee, I should say.
Hello.
Obviously, it's a bit of a weird one, this one, because there's no game to talk about from last week because of the postponement against QPR, with the carnage just going across the Football League at the moment. A lot of games being postponed, a bit of a weird sort of situation. So we thought we'd just do a regular sort of podcast, talk about a bit of news. We'll talk about maybe the Millwall game, and if that goes ahead, look to what we want to see there. But also, first of all, we'll compare the predictions that we made at the start of the season with how the table is looking at the moment. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to see how well we've done in terms of how well the teams are doing and how well we thought they would do. Before we get there, though, how's your week been?
Yeah, not busy, very busy with work and been away for a wedding and lots of Christmas do's. Got to sneak them in before everything's kicked off again.
Did you? I didn't get to one this year.
It's been an absolute manic week. It's just I'm absolutely shattered now. So I'm finishing work tomorrow, ready for Christmas. I got a nice 2 weeks off, so I'm gonna be doing nothing.
Nice for some. I'll be working Christmas Eve, got 3 days, and then back in. So, yeah. I mean, it's all right. There'll be people that are a lot worse, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
And especially people doing all the jabs and stuff like that, probably be working right through, and carers and NHS staff. So, obviously, appreciate all the hard work that they put in, especially over this time, and especially in this year and last year, where it's even tougher than normal. But anyway, let's not get on a downer about that stuff. We'll maybe touch on some of it later on. As always, though, before we get into the content, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are trying to hit 500, so please hit that subscribe button. Would mean a lot if you can. We've been stuck on, I think, 416 for a while, so let's try and get that number up. Give us an early Christmas present by giving us a subscription, and let us know in the comments what you think of the stuff as well, where we can improve, and just get involved in the conversation. Okay, so I've made a little slideshow, so we'll have a look. Obviously, if you're listening on Spotify, you won't be able to see the table that I've put up here, but we'll talk you through it so you can hopefully follow that way. But it's our prediction table that we made at the start of the season.
Yeah, so just looking at this already. Yeah,
I've put in a couple of notes in about how we're going to maybe judge how well we're doing. So we're going to make a note of how many we got correct, how many we got incorrect. Bear in mind, this is only halfway, so a lot could change by the end. It could be a lot better, it could be a lot worse. We're going to see in the top 6 how accurate we've been there, and in the bottom 3 specifically, because they're the kind of areas of interest. That's where the action happens at the end of the season, with movement up and down. And then we're also going to look at to see, okay, it's going to be hard to predict in it, 24 teams spot on. So how many were we close by? Some teams that we might have been 1 position out. Some we might have got like 2 positions out, and then I've done within 5 positions and left it there. So just to see sort of if we're in the right ballpark, if the teams are in the right area that we're saying they should be. And we'll work out how well we've done as a result of those. How confident are you feeling?
No, not very. As soon as you open that, there's some standout ones that are absolutely miles off. Yeah,
like who?
Well, Cardiff stands out for a start.
Why does Cardiff stand out? What are you trying to say?
No, I think just that's there in the middle on the left-hand side, so that's where my eyes were drawn to. No other reason.
Okay, so these are the top 6 then. So we've got Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Fulham in 3rd, West Brom in 4th, QPR in 5th, and Middlesbrough in 6th. I don't think it's too bad, to be fair, for an effort to the top 6. So we got 2 correct. We've got West Brom and QPR, who are in 4th and 5th, and they are actually in 4th and 5th. And then Bournemouth, we've got as 1st, or in 2nd, so it's not too far away. Sheffield United is probably the worst one there, where we put them down to finish 2nd, and they're currently 11th, maybe struggling a bit this season so far. Fulham, they're in 3rd. We had them 1st. Sorry, other way round. We put them 3rd. They are in 1st. So again, not too far away. And Middlesbrough, they obviously recently got a new manager. We put them for 6th. They're currently making their way up the league table. They're in 9th at the moment, so they're still on.
No, I'm quite happy with that. That's not bad. We got 4 of the top 6 at the moment.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we've done quite well.
It's going to change. Probably will change quite a bit, but 4 of the top 6, I'll take that. That's not bad.
I mean, which one of those do you think is the most one that you perhaps surprised is so wrong?
The Sheffield United is the one, isn't it? They're just, I expected them to be up there with Bournemouth and Fulham, but they had a horrific start, didn't they? And they did have a little bit of a resurgence today, but then they've just been a bit inconsistent since then. So I will be, well, if they were run together, they probably will sneak into the top 6. I could see that happening.
Yeah, but didn't you say like earlier this season, out of Bournemouth, not Bournemouth, sorry, Sheffield United, Fulham, West Brom, they all go relegated, and you wouldn't be surprised if one of them has a bit of a slow start.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I did say that probably one of them would struggle, but I think I've said West Brom probably just with the new manager and everything.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for Sheffield, and their new game plan with the new manager. He couldn't get their strikers firing, and I mean they're down in 11th at the moment, so it's not doom and gloom. I guess they can still work the season out. I think they've got a new manager as well, haven't they? I can't remember who it is now.
It's Higginbottom, isn't it?
Yeah. So it wasn't he the one that led them to the end of the season last year after Wilder got sacked. So caretaker manager brought a new guy in. New guy didn't do good enough, and now they brought him in when he was there in the first place. Weird situation, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was a weird start to the season because they were pretty poor, weren't they? And they came down to us today when we were just obviously like, what was that, like second game of the season?
Yeah.
And we were ready at all for the season. I know, but we had like Russell Madden had only just taken over. We were just in a bit of a mess ourselves.
At the time, it looked like a good point for us because they just got relegated, I guess. But they were in such bad form. I guess it was a good time for us to play them so we didn't lose. Whereas other teams perhaps would have come down here and beat us at the time.
Yeah.
So, but then I think maybe if we played them a couple of weeks ago, we could have beaten them. So maybe not now. That's another question. But yeah, West Brom and QPR spot on there, and I think a lot of people were maybe not expecting QPR to be there, but we called it, and they're doing quite well.
Yeah, they're like that pack or that sort of QPR downwards. I know, like Middlesbrough, we've got there 6th, but they're in 9th. I mean, that pack is so tight, isn't it? That it changes week on week.
Yeah, so the more accurate we can be when it's so tight, the better job we've done. And okay, so based on the top 6 then, we have 2 in the correct positions, 4 incorrect positions. One team, we had 1 position out, which was Bournemouth. Obviously, they are currently in 2nd. 2 teams that we have 2 positions out. So that was Fulham and... Have I done that wrong? I've done that one wrong. That should be a 0. No, sorry, 1. That should be again. So that's just Fulham. They are 2 positions out, and then you've got Middlesbrough within 5. Sorry, so I made a mistake on my little graphic there, but I'm sure you can forgive me. So yeah, it's 1-1-1 there. So not too bad. I think the only one, like you said, Sheffield United was very wrong. We'll see if Middlesbrough can save us by the end of the season and work their way out, as long as the others can stay there as well.
I quite like that now, because I think maybe Middlesbrough, they might not get there, but Wilder's taken over, isn't he? They might just churn out a few results and get in there.
When we go to the next slide, I've got a bone to pick with you as well there. So based on one of the teams that's currently in the playoffs and where I wanted to put them, but you convinced me to put them lower.
What have I said? Let's do it.
Blackburn.
Oh, yeah.
Down in 10th we had them, and they're currently 3rd. And I wanted to put them up. Somewhere near higher up than that anyway. Blackburn. And they're the informed team in the league, 5 wins in a row. They're actually only 1 win off the lead.
Yeah, but it's weird because
Fulham beat them 7-1.
You just don't seem to notice a team picking up results. But literally, if you pick up 5 wins, you're well up into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and it's the same if you lose a couple as well.
Well, if you added 5 wins onto the Swans, they would be on the same points as Blackburn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you can put a run together. But the bubble might burst soon enough and they might drop down. You got to wait for a late surge. You got to time it right. Maybe they've peaked too early.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, Stoke, we got them quite close. We had them finish 7th, and they are currently in the playoffs in that last slot in 6th. So not too disappointed with that.
Yeah, we'll take the next 2. like I said, that Cardiff one and Reading were absolutely miles off.
Yeah, so yeah, we had a bit of a mare with these ones. So Cardiff and Reading 8th and 9th, and then they are currently down the other end, 20th and 21st. Where with Reading obviously had the points deduction, but it wouldn't have changed too much, I don't think. So they only had 6 points, didn't they? So that would give they'd be on the same points as us, so down 16th or lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just forget about those two. I mean, they could have a good second half of the season and
Miraculous second
work
half
their
of the
way
season.
up. But I think Reading are going to be down there. Cardiff, it's hard to say how the new manager's going to fare over a longer period of time, but we'll have to see. And the other one maybe to talk about, Forest. Obviously, they've got a new manager now. Steve Cooper's gone there. We know all about that after last week. We had them to finish 11th, and currently they're 7th.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
This was pre-Cooper, wasn't it? And he was struggling at the beginning of the season.
I think that's another one I said that was a bit like, oh, they could have a good one, but I guess 11th still good, isn't it? But
yeah,
they're on the verge of sneaking into the playoffs now.
But when Cooper took over, I would have not been too surprised if someone said they'd finish in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think now Cooper's there, I would like to redo the table for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't. I think they could well finish there. They're only 1 point off and at 1 point behind Stoke. So
it's still so tight, isn't it? All that Middlesbrough, Stoke, Forest, they're all Well,
they were lower than us a couple of weeks ago, so it shows how quick things can change. Now they are quite clear. Well, not quite clear. 7 points, three results, I guess.
It's 7 points ahead of us, Forest.
Yeah, bear in mind, a couple of weeks back, we've lost 3 in a row, haven't we? So
yeah.
And they won 3 in a row, so that's why.
Yeah, fair
they
play.
were behind us before that run. But it changes quite fast. 7 points ahead. Yeah, and then obviously we've got Swans to finish 12th. Now, obviously we're not there at the moment. We're 16th, but based on how the season started, then we had a bit of a good run, and now we've dropped off a little bit. Still on to finish around there. I think that's what we were saying mid-table. We put ourselves right in the middle, and I would say it could be there. It could be like plus or minus 3 either side.
Yeah, I think so. With the way that our performances have been, some brilliant runs, some awful runs. I think, like you said, either side of that midpoint, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of playing it safe, but if you get it right,
bit of a boost in January, maybe.
We've got more to talk about on that later, but we'll get there. It might not be as positive as we want to hear, though.
I've been quite cut off last sort of week or so. So apart from obviously the big news, I haven't been up to date. So you'll have to fill me in on some bits.
Yeah. It's all lovely information. So here then, we've still got 2 correct positions. We've had 10 wrong so far, but I don't think we've been that bad. We've had 2 teams that are 1 position out. With I think it was Stoke and one of the ones in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is quite a good effort, I think. And then another 2 that were 2 positions out of where they currently are, and 3 within 5. So I think we're doing okay. It's some of the teams we've got in the right ballpark. They haven't obviously got the position nailed on, but by the end, you never know. Maybe they will.
I think, the only glaring ones there, Cardiff and Reading. You take that out, I think it's not too bad.
Yeah, moving on to the sort of bottom half minus the relegation teams. Then, so again, we didn't get any of these right, but some of them are close. So Luton there, we had for 13th. They're currently sitting in 14th. So
yeah, Millwall only 2 places out there.
Yeah, Millwall only 2 places. Currently 12th. We had them 14th. One of the ones here that probably glaringly sticks out, Barnsley. Then, after such a good season last year, down in 23rd, we had them mid-table in 15th. What do you think of them so far?
Oh, that's just been a massive. I don't know what's going on there. I know they lost their manager
as well, haven't they? And he's just
they've sacked their manager that they had at the start of the season, and it looks like they'll go down. I think I know they lost Mawat, didn't they? And they lost the manager.
Yeah,
but
difficult season, and and this is the year where I think you don't want to be relegated when 2 teams have had a points deduction as well.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But hopefully they can pull it together and get out. Birmingham, another one, only 1 position out there.
Yeah, not bad in this pack, yeah.
The 17th. Hull, 2 positions out. 17th, and we had them. We got them 17th. They're 19th at the moment.
Yeah.
So another 2 within a couple of places. Quite positive. Hello. I mean, it's only 2 positions, but do you think they're going to keep themselves up?
Hull, yeah, I think they will. Yeah. I think they've done enough. Well, I think they will do enough, but I don't know. I think like Derby will probably go. That's one slot gone.
Yeah, well, I'll pull up the actual current scores and stuff at the end. But
Yeah.
I think Derby are quite a way off.
And Barnsley are massively struggling. So I think it's just going to be a bit of a dogfight for that last position.
Yeah. I think Blackpool have been one of the surprise packages of the season so far. The form lately hasn't been the best. Obviously, we got a draw against them recently. They've fallen off from where they were a couple of weeks ago, but everyone has a bit of a bad run. But we had them 18th and they're currently 13th. So we got them in there within 5 positions. But based on their early season form, are they more likely to go up or down? I don't know. Maybe they've been worked out. Maybe they're like new promotion bouncers fizzled out, but I guess that's one to watch.
They've had some weird results, haven't they? They've been like hammered a few times, and then they've had a few cracking results. Then,
difficult.
I think they're doing all right actually. Blackpool.
Yeah, Preston. We had them 19th. They're currently in 15th. Another one within 5 positions for us.
Yeah.
But we need them perhaps to fall off a little bit. But I can't see how many of the teams below them might get ahead of them. Although saying that one of them is us, so perhaps they will, if we have faith in ourselves.
Yeah, they just had a new manager as well, Preston, didn't they?
Yeah.
So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah. Who's next? So we got Coventry. That's probably one of the surprises of the season, actually.
Oh yeah.
Got this one very wrong so far.
Oh yeah, but they had a ridiculous run at the start of the season. I think it's starting to level out now, though, isn't it? I think since we beat them, that was the first game they'd lost at home all season. I've noticed they have started to slip down now, haven't they? They were third at one point.
A lot of games recently. They've 4 out of 5 draws, and one of them and then the other one's a loss.
Yeah,
but they were in the playoffs. Yeah, they were third at one point, weren't they?
I think they were top early season when they first, I know it's big reflection, but they were third for a while.
I mean, they got quite far to fall to save our table.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I think they'd be happy with their season so far.
Yeah.
Bristol City, we had them on the cusp of relegation down to 21st. 3 out from where they are, the 18th.
No, I think you're saying about Hull, we'll probably come on to who's in the mix, but I think Bristol City need to be careful. Because their home form is ridiculous, isn't it? I think, wasn't it like they won a couple of weeks ago and it was their first win at home in like 2 years or something?
Something ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They got to be careful.
Let's have a look at the last one then, the bottom 3. Oh, we got another green. So if we had Derby to be last, I think that was the easy one, wasn't it? We all knew the points deduction was coming. So that was spot on. But we had Peterborough there down there as well, in the wrong position. We got them 23rd to 22nd. However, still, they're in the bottom 3. And Huddersfield we had, but they're not looking like they're going down.
Miles off there, aren't we? We're Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've done well, though, in all fairness, because I expected them to be down that end, sort of struggling, and they're just another one of them teams, like Blackpool and like Stoke and those sort of teams. You just don't think that they're ever putting a run together. You don't see them sort of making the headlines and winning 5 in a row and stuff.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden they're sort of on the cusp of the playoffs.
Yeah, they're just sort of there, and they just get on with it. Yeah, so that finishes our table. 3 correct, 21 wrong, but it's not what it seems there. I think it's a bit better than that. I wrote 2 for the top 6. What I meant was 2 correct. We actually had 4 of the teams in the top 6. We put in the top 6 out of the 6 of them. Just not all of them were in spot on positions, and we had 2 out of the bottom 3 in the bottom 3, with 1 of them in the correct positions, and then we had 5 teams that were 1 position out from where they currently are. We had 4 teams who were 2 positions out from where they currently are, and we had 6 teams who were within 5 positions of where they currently are. So I think it was it's been a decent effort so far. Hopefully, we can
That's not bad. I'll take that.
improve. We'll compare our mid-season rank and see how much better or worse it got by the end of the season.
There's only 4 really. I think to stand out. Sheffield United being second, and then you've got Cardiff and Red in there, and then Huddersfield. I think those 4.
Yeah.
We're really wrong.
Oh, and Coventry.
Coventry. Yeah. In all fairness, yeah. But apart from those ones, I'd say we're not far off there.
No, I think it's been a good effort. So let's compare it against what's actually happening. So we've got, can't really see the top because of the logo. Shut it now for a second. There we are. Yeah, so there's the table. Obviously, Fulham and Bournemouth are leading the way. However, I haven't got the form there, but their form, neither team has won a game in the last 5, with Blackburn behind them winning all 5. We were saying a couple of weeks ago how Fulham and Bournemouth are gone. They're not getting caught. And now all of a sudden, West Brom and Blackburn are fully back in the mix.
Yeah, I know that's mad, isn't it? Bournemouth especially were gone for ages, isn't they? Because they didn't lose for a long time. And then I think Preston beat them. And Blackburn went up there and won as well, didn't they, with their form?
Yeah. So there we are. There's the table with the form as well.
Oh, Blackburn's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, with the Swans then, if we bring it back home a little bit, we're down in 16th. Obviously, be a bit slow the last couple of games. Wondering if we can turn that around now with the disruption of COVID, cancelled game week. Could that prove a good thing for us? A bit more time on the training pitch, get our fitness up, get the game plan back sorted, sort the defence.
I think so. I think it probably come at the right time for us. Because we were looking a bit all over the place in those last couple of games. Lost 3 in a row. It's not good at this level, but yeah, I think the break came at the right time.
Yeah, I think so. Let's put the ticker on then and have a look what's next on the agenda for the video. So obviously there's been our prediction table. Again, like I said, we'll revisit it at the end. So let us know in the comments what you think about our effort. And maybe if you predicted the table at the start of the season, let us know what yours were, how well you're doing in the comments. We'd like to see how well people are getting on with that. But let's move on then. So I've got quite a bit of news to talk about. So I'll just turn this off, get us both back on the screen. Some of it, I guess, is better than others. First of all, let's talk about today's updates, or this week's updates. Obviously, the next couple of games for Swansea will be played behind closed doors. There'll be no fans allowed to go. Were you expecting that? You surprised? You gutted?
To be honest, I wasn't expecting it at all. I was away when the news broke, and someone sent me a message to say it happened. I just didn't see that coming at all. I thought the sport was going to be safe, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it all seemed to happen slowly. Like there was sort of gradual, sort of slow restrictions. I just didn't think that we were going to get that. Just so quickly, just straight back to behind closed doors.
Yeah, it's
so I
frustrating.
did that as well because I love going down at Christmas time and that in between like Christmas and New Year. I love going down to watch the games and meeting up with people who are
it's
home
all going to be
Christmas,
missed again.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year, like you said, so important over Christmas and big part of the Boxing Day. Speaking of Boxing Day, our Boxing Day game is currently not cancelled. It's against Millwall away, which is going ahead. It's been streamed on iFollow, I believe. I don't know whether that's because of the COVID situation to try and encourage people to not travel, but I saw they are actually streaming the game.
That's right. Then.
So the issue obviously is that England has got different restrictions now to Wales yet again. You can go to an away game, you could travel to an away game, but you can't go to the home games. So Mark Drakeford's been saying, well, you've basically been asking everyone to think twice about going to away games. I'm not here to tell you what to do, just want to tell you what the situation is. So I guess that's where the issues are caused. But there's apparently streaming the game, so you should be able to watch it. I believe it was for UK audiences, but double check on that one. Otherwise, the home games that are being missed because you can't go, they are being shared 100%. And I think all season ticket holders are going to get a code to access the games.
So I've had mine already. In all fairness to the club, they've been straight on it. They had the I've got my code already for the Luton game, and they said that if you want the money back instead of the code, you just fill something in or whatever it is. But yeah, they were pretty hot on it this time. In all fairness,
Yeah.
but that's. I know, like, we won't get political about this, obviously, but that's the one thing that just bugs me is that, like, we can go to away games now. You could get 2,000-3,000 people going to Millwall on Boxing Day, and then we can't go to our home games, and it puts us at a disadvantage as well.
Yeah,
we
well,
can
Russell
go to away
Martin's been
games.
talking about that.
And I know, yeah, but I just think from the start we should have had consistent restrictions across. And I'm trying to keep it within football now, but we should have just had consistency throughout the whole thing, and I think that's what people struggle with.
Yeah,
like, how would you say to someone like, "Oh, you can go away and you can't go home"?
It's difficult. Like, I don't know where. I know you're saying keep it within football, and I don't want to go too in depth, but like, do you blame the Welsh government for doing what they're doing when they're trying, for going a step further, or do you blame, Boris and Noel Lemlott for maybe trying to keep their image a bit better? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it was all
I
political.
know you might not agree with it regardless, but I think certain decisions are being made based on certain pictures that have been leaked recently over the border.
I can accept the restrictions. That's fine. I've seen firsthand the damage that everything causes, but I can accept the restrictions. I just think it needs to be consistent. That's the only thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. It seems over there, like, and it wouldn't surprise me if he comes out like Friday and puts more in. We know the restrictions have been coming for the last couple of days, even since the end of last week. What really irritates me about it is the drip feeding of them. When they're all coming in on Sunday, they're coming in from Sunday, but it's like every day we're finding out an extra thing. It's like, just tell us just in one go. Like, I know you're saying looking at the data every day and making more of a decision, but I mean, everyone kind of saw the trend last week. We knew what the trend was going to be. Just tell me so I can plan for it. Like,
exactly. I mean? No, I agree.
It's a bit annoying, but it's what it is.
I think I will say, I think they've handled it quite well. Like, the Welsh government, I think they've done better than over the border.
They're more transparent, I think, with what they say.
No, I agree with what you're saying, and that's why it came as a shock to me with the football being cancelled, just to bring it back to football. I just thought, when they announced that it was just the nightclubs closing, I thought, okay, like, the football's going to be okay. They're just bringing in restrictions. I thought that the rule of 6 would come back in, but I just thought that the football would be on even if they just did that. They shut the concourses maybe, and you had to wear a mask or whatever. But I didn't think they were going to cancel the football. I was shocked when they did it.
I mean, they could even reduce the capacity first, but they didn't even do that. But then how would you tell some season ticket holders they can't come and some they can?
Yeah.
That's difficult, isn't it? But that's not the Welsh government's problem. They wouldn't have thought about that when making a decision, I doubt. Anyway, let's not get too much in detail about the ifs, buts, and maybes about why the restrictions are coming in. 3 games are currently set to be affected, I think, for the Swans at home. Luton, obviously, as you said. I want to say Fulham. And Fulham in the... and maybe is the FA Cup game against Southampton maybe as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is a shame.
They haven't mentioned it, though. Like, in the statement that the club made, they didn't mention... I don't think the Southampton game's been mentioned. It was just the Luton and...
Yeah, they were talking about refunds, though, weren't they? And I don't think they opened ticket sales for it, so...
okay. Yeah, fair enough.
They probably didn't open them knowing that maybe something would happen, I would have thought.
It's not too bad, though, because we'd be able to stream the Luton game, and then...
So the
Fulham game is on Sky, and
I'm actually gutted.
Game. You had tickets new for the Luton game.
Yeah, they're my free tickets I won on Fan Hub, but now I won't get a refund for that, so like it's a bit annoying.
So what happens? Can you move them to another game?
I don't know. I'll have to ask them in it because I don't know. Yeah, they're giving the refunds and these. I don't know whether they'll do it with that or whatever. So find out.
Yeah,
I'm not out of pocket or nothing. It's annoying because I don't get to go to many, and there's one I was definitely looking forward to. So whatever, we move on.
Christmas
Hopefully, I get to watch it anyway. You can maybe sort me out or share the love a little bit.
Maybe we can do a live
watch party.
Yeah,
not in person though because I'm joking.
But the Fulham game's on Sky though, isn't it? And the FA Cup game is on BBC at like 5:30. So
that'd be alright then.
I'll be able to watch them.
Yeah, Russell Martin has been, as I said, talking about some of these issues. He's very frustrated because of partly what you just said. We're at a disadvantage to the English teams now, again, with no fans. For example, like what happened in the playoffs, which I guess, I mean, it's hard to make a decision if one government say one thing and the other government saying another thing, and then how does the league make that consistent? They can't really, as much as it's not fair on us, I don't think it's fair on them to stop the other clubs because then they lose a lot of money. And I think the EFL just needs money and being brought in. We don't need more taken out like has been in the last year or so. There's a lot of clubs struggling anyway, so it's unfortunate we've got to suffer, but there's not really a fix, I don't think, or right thing to do here.
Well, this just part of the beauty of it, really, that we're four actually Welsh clubs playing in the English system in the sort of the top 5 tiers anyway in the football pyramid. So it is quite unique, isn't it? That you have sort of 2 like separate governments across like one sort of football pyramid. So it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't just stop there. He's also now very concerned that it's going to be impacting our transfer plans for January. Yeah, he said that it's immediately affected the transfer plans financially. And there are people working behind the scenes to see, working out the numbers of what it looks like, basically. And I know people are probably thinking, oh, it's only like a couple of weeks, of ticket sales. How is that going to have such a big impact? Well, it's a couple of weeks confirmed, I think is important to say.
Oh, yeah.
They know the money they lost from when we were closed for basically all of last season. So I'm sure they've got the data they need to say how much it can affect, and they need to run the club still. So I guess running a club comes first. Transfer fees is what's left. The money they've got to spend on players is, right, we've paid all our staff, we've got the lights on, we've done this, we've done that, we paid our rent, whatever. What we've got left, or this is what we can spend on players. Very simple way of putting it, but that's essentially what's going to be going on. So any impact of these restrictions, you'd imagine, is coming from the player fund.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. It is going to affect, but there's so many other things that are going to affect the transfer window for everyone as well. There's so many cases flying through football teams at the moment as well, and games being cancelled, that you don't know if someone might not move as a result.
Yeah,
They might not want to move at this time. You might want to not up and move your family during all this. So yeah,
I think it'd be quite a quiet window, especially now after Omicron's become apparent and become a massive issue.
It's going to be a dead transfer window, but Sky are still going to sell it as like, oh my god, deadline day and the countdown clock and the daily updates.
You'll have 11 o'clock. Transfer called off because player's not had his booster.
They try and sell it now every window, don't they? And it's just a bust now.
Yeah,
you just don't get the old transfer windows like we used to have on deadline days.
They'll have Harry Redknapp interviewing from his car outside the vaccination centre.
yeah, it's ridiculous. They'll try and hype it up and be like, oh look, all this is going on, and daily updates, and somebody standing outside every training ground when nobody's there.
I think there'd be a little bit of movement, but I think Klopp's been talking about it, hasn't he? Like Liverpool have decided they're not even going to sign any players potentially unless they've been jabbed.
Yeah.
Russell Martin mentioned this in his interview. He said it's up to the players whether they want to do it or not. So they're not forcing anyone here. But I think some clubs are considering a no jab, no sign policy, because I don't think it's necessarily they're doing it from the perspective of like, we need to do this to stop spreading COVID and having jabs is the right thing to do. I don't think they're pushing that message with it. I think what they're saying is it's causing us so many issues because you've got to train on your own. You've got to go in a different dressing room. You've got to catch a different flight when we're playing in Europe, or you've got to go on a different bus to get to the away games. You've got to all this, you've got to sit at a different place when you're eating. You've got to, and it just causes issues in terms of the logistics of running the football club that I think they're just like, it's easier if we just have everyone that's vaccinated so we can have them as a group.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Costs us less money. It's more efficient. We have less it's just easier for the club. And I think that's why Klopp came out and said it more than being political again, I guess, and pushing like, oh, you should have the jab.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on with that. I think it just makes sense. It's just in the short term, while all this is going on, and I know it's kicking off again. It's gone on for like 2 years now, but I think just in the short term, with everything that's gone on, I think it's probably easier for them to just say to have that policy within the club. I can understand it.
Yeah, same. I think we can all agree that does make sense at this point, and it is up to the players if they do it or not. But maybe they won't get all the opportunities as a result, which it's just the way of the world at the moment. And I know people are going to disagree with that and are not going to be happy, and there'll be protests. But it's not necessarily my opinion. I'm just saying what the facts are at the moment about what's happening. So, yeah. Okay.
We
couple
did
of
well
players.
we did well to avoid getting really political. Then.
Yeah, it's a difficult topic to talk about, isn't it?
We'll go back with that off air.
It's difficult, yeah. Some players, though, like I don't know who we're going to sign in January now. It's difficult. There has been some names thrown about and linked. So I've got a couple that have just... I don't know too much about them. I think it's more of a case of these are some names that have been thrown out quite a bit. So maybe ones to watch. Keep an eye out for their names. Have a look into them. Maybe they're players that we are going to be going in for. So the first one is a goalkeeper from MK Dons called Andy Fisher. Obviously, Russell Martin played with him in... not played with him, managed him. He might have played with him actually when he was there, but managed him having MK Dons. And he's 23. He's a keeper. So I'd imagine it just slots Ben Hamer down if we sign him. And I'm not sure whether you're coming straight away as number one. I would think maybe he'd challenge because of the past sort of playing experience, but kind of maybe a replacement for Woodman overdue. Not that Hamer to do something wrong though, perhaps.
I don't know. I just think it's a bit jumping the gun. I know Hamer has made a few mistakes recently, but I just know it just seems to be a quick. If we do sign a goalkeeper in the January, it's a quick oh, you made those mistakes, you're out. New keeper coming in.
But maybe I would agree with you. But then because it's from his former club and he's trying to play a certain system, he will suit the system a lot better and
that makes sense.
Allow us to play better from the back and defend better from the back.
Well, in all fairness, Hamer and Bender were there when he took over, so maybe he's had this in mind for since he's come in.
And it's not just plucked out of thin air, is it? There's a link there. He knows the player, so yeah. We'll see what happens with that one. I was reading that it's potentially pretty close to being done, but yeah,
we are desperate for a bit of consistency at the back, including the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
because if we do sign a new keeper in January and he's in, there's 3 keepers we've had this season, and I'd love to see how many combinations of the back, like 3 and keeper we've had.
Yeah. The next one is a midfielder from Man City who's been tipped as the next breakout talent in the Premier League. A bit out perhaps on this one. We've been linked for a long time. It's James McAtee. Been linked a long time. But I believe Pep was making comments about him wanting to keep hold of him and keep him around the first team. But since he's made those comments, there's still articles popping up about him potentially coming to the Swans, and it doesn't seem to be going away. We'll see. Again, maybe it's like the whole hangover from Steve Cooper, Swansea being a good place for young talent, still with the journalists who just like a story. But the fact that it's been so talked about makes me think there must have been something in it at least. It could be one from the scouting team, even if he was identified previously when Cooper was here. So yeah, another one to maybe keep an eye out for, keep an eye on his name. I would imagine be a loan sign-in. And you'd have to say it makes sense, loan sign-ins, because especially if we've got less money to spend now.
I think it's going to be loans. And now, like you said, especially with having the games behind closed doors for God knows how long, I think loan deals probably make more sense for players as well, just to come temporarily. Makes sense.
Yeah, and the third one is Hayden Roberts, who's a defender from Brighton and Hove Albion. Again, youngster, 19 years old. I don't know if he's like a left back or right back, or he's a centre back. There we are. So maybe a potential replacement for an outgoing, perhaps Reece Williams.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Because how many loans have we got now? We can only have so
just
many.
One,
loans,
isn't it? We've only got Reece Williams. Oh, and Ethan Laird. Sorry.
There's only 2 loans we've got, is it?
Yeah, we didn't get loads this season. I think it was the whole thing with Cooper leaving, wasn't it?
Last year we had a lot, didn't we? When after
Yeah.
Cooper left, and we lost a lot of players to loans.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but now that you say it, I think we signed quite a few.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all I've got from the main ones I keep seeing. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there'll be a couple of surprises and names popping up through January. But again, we'll see what happens because maybe there won't be any signings. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Anything else I've missed that you've picked up on the last week in terms of
Yeah, what
news?
about? I can't remember if we talked about this last time. I was saying just going on to outgoings. I know there's been a link with Perot and Leicester, isn't there? That seems to be
Yeah,
cropping up.
there's
But
still talk about it, but we did talk about
I'm
it
quite
last time.
hopeful that it's not going to happen.
He said he's happy here and he's playing good football and settled in well. He's comfortable. The club at the time said they don't need to sell their star players this year. They said we're in a position where we now no longer need to sell our key players. But now they've just said that this no fans is going to affect them financially. So
Yeah, we'll
maybe
see.
that changes things.
Yeah, but
We'll
we
see.
did that before, and we sell our star player every season. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Is there? No
no other
news.
transfer news there. No, I think that's it all covered off.
I think it's like a John Toshak documentary is coming out this week.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in that, maybe take a look at that, check that out. It's meant to be pretty good, I think. I haven't seen it myself yet, but might give it a watch sometime. But yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it does look good. Might give that a go.
Okay, so let's move on then. Let's move on to the last part of the video, the last part of the podcast. Millwall versus Swansea on Boxing Day. So, well, yeah, it's a bit weird because we haven't played for a while. But what do we think? Because Millwall also had a game postponed, so it's not even like it's the same for both of us. Their game was postponed as well, their last game. So we're both going into it with a little bit longer. Millwall are 12th in the league currently. They are 3 points ahead of us. Better goal difference, though. How are you feeling about this one?
I think it depends. I can't really remember because it depends because for us, for example, I know there was COVID cases in the QPR camp, so that's going to affect them because maybe they had to not train or players had to isolate. But for us, I don't think we've had cases in the camp, so I think training's probably been able to go as normal and the preparation has been good. So I think we'll be fresh. It's a break that we needed, and like you said, they've had time on the training park to get these stuff sorted that we've seen in the last 3 games. But I'm not sure. I think Millwall was supposed to be Preston, and I think Preston had cases, so they might be in the same boat. So we might get a good game. Might get 2 fresh teams out. But we always seem to have a good game against Millwall away. It's always a good away day.
Was that Courtney Baker Richardson's red card?
That's probably the best one. That was brilliant. The man sent off and then to win it 3-2. That was McBurney's goal at the end.
Yeah.
Kyle Norton on the swivel.
Well, Montero was still a thing.
Yeah. And I remember going once in the summer when the year we got promoted, and I think we were already in the playoffs, but we were just sort of I think it was the last but one game of the season, and I think Derby ripped up and scored.
Big Stephen Derby.
God. But yeah, it always seems to be a good game when we go to Millwall, so I'm looking forward to it. I say that now, it'll be 0-0.
Yeah, and okay, so out of the team, well, I say out of the team is potentially all fresh, and if everyone's available to be picked, then what are you going to go for? Do you think who's the best lineup you can have here? Because you think they're going to all be fresh now.
Well, we talked about it last time. I think because he's been playing either Manning or Bidwell, then he has to play like Reece Williams or Cabango in the back 3. I think he needs to go back to playing Manning in the 3 with Bidwell wide, and then have Bennett and Norton if they're both fit. Because I think that's when we were playing our best football. And we said, didn't we? I think the last game that Manning and Bidwell played together was the Blackpool game, which was kind of the the start of the bad run, really, wasn't it? I know we got a point in that game, but then after that, he's been playing.
Yeah, we
he's
should
been
have won
playing
that
either
game
one
though.
of-
It wasn't like a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
game.
No, I know we should have won the game, but he's been playing either Manning or Bidwell, and then he's had to play Cabango or Reece Williams, and I like Cabango. I
Yeah.
like,
Well, the defense has got to change from last game because we can't be having Cabango, Downs, and Bennett there again. I think that's going to work.
no. But that's the thing. I hope Norton is fit because he wasn't even on the bench, but he's had a bit of time now, so hopefully he's.
I think he was back for if QPR was going to go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so 100% we've got to go back to Norton in the middle with probably Bennett and Manning either side with Led and Bidwell again, I think.
Yeah. So, so we've got him, Norton, Manning, and Bennett. Yeah. And obviously you'd keep the wing backs, Led and Bidwell. Although Led obviously took a knock. I think he might be back as well, though.
Yeah.
What were the rest of the midfield and forward?
I think it's probably much of the same, and it's going to be Grimes and Downs probably, and then it's going to be Perot and Patterson, and then he's either going to play in Cham or Smith. That seems to be the swing at the moment. I think you can probably, when you're doing your fan hub prediction, I think at the moment you can just guarantee Hamer, Led,
Grimes,
probably Downs.
Nah, he's not always there. He's
I
had a
think
couple that he dropped.
I think now he's come back fit though. He
Yeah.
could. He sometimes does change him.
Patterson and Perot as well, and
Patterson
Manning.
and Perot. Either Manning or Bidwell. But I think it's just going to swing on, like maybe away from home he doesn't play in Cham and he plays Smith in there.
I heard a whisper the other day that Jan Dander's pushing for a start.
That's not true. Is it?
I'm joking. I didn't.
It's just not. Why would you ruin my Christmas?
What if he scored?
Oh yeah, good. I feel no, I'm not going to make a bet, but it's just he needs to go.
I think he's going to go.
Do you think any of these players will get out in January though? Do you think like the likes of Dander and Whittaker and Cullen or any of them players on the fringe?
Whittaker needs to go on loan, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think Cullen will go because, well, I mean, he seems to like him in terms of his work rate, and it's a constant fight with Obafemi for that second striker slot. So he needs to decide on one of them. But if Obafemi's going to have attitude issues, then you can't get rid of Cullen, can you?
Yeah, I said well, Perot's going to start, isn't he? And then it just depends on the pecking order then. If they can get Obafemi firing, whatever the issue is, then Cullen will probably have to go on loan, won't he?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting. Everyone's just waiting for Obafemi to just sort of have a run of games and do something, but it just seems to be something all the time that knocks him back.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know how he did at Southampton. If he's got a bad history there, or maybe he's not going to turn out to be a good sign-in. But he's still got time to turn that around. But we'll see. What do you think? Then you're going to get a win? Are we going to get back to winning ways, or is it going to be more misery?
No, I fancy it. I think. This is probably going to be a terrible decision, but no, I fancy it. I think we probably have a really good away following, considering what's happened. I think we've probably got our backs up a bit now. They're obviously way behind closed doors, and the English clubs aren't. So there's probably that extra bit of edge there. I think Russell Martin probably be relaying that when the fans travelled and we can't do it at home. So I'm hoping that sort of gives us that extra edge. I fancy a win.
1 win in 6 for Millwall.
Yeah.
1 win in 6 for Swansea.
Oh God, the 2 form sides then.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had 1 draw in 6 as well with 4 losses, but this is a little bit better. They've had 3 draws, 2 losses, so they've got 2 more points. But
I fancy him to put the defence back the way it was with Manning and Norton and Bennett, and then we'll run riot again. Perot hat-trick. And Obafemi one off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Gary Rowett team.
Oh, God.
So let's bear that in mind.
Yeah.
And in terms of players to maybe look out for, Tom Bradshaw up front.
Yeah.
Benik Afobe.
Yeah.
Jed Wallace. They're usually the front 3.
Yeah, Wallace is good, isn't he?
You've got Jake Cooper still at the back there.
It's a solid team and a solid championship team. They've always got a good squad in it.
Yeah.
Guaranteed to mid-table in. So looking into the playoffs, aren't they? most years. Always a hard team, but it's going to be one of them again, isn't it? Where we probably have like 80% of the ball and Millwall's tucked in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shinji Ojo on the bench as well. He used to play for Cardiff, didn't he?
Yeah.
On loan.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope he stays on the bench, doesn't go on the pitch and score some goals. But yeah, okay, that's fine. Anything else before we finish then? You're saying a win for Swans, so...
Yeah, I fancy it. We need it. We need a win.
A nice
We need
bit
some
of
good
Christmas cheer.
We just need some good news. So we do with a win.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, are we going to do another one before the end of the year to do our 2021 moments?
If we don't do it next week, we'll do it at some point, even if it's in January.
Before the Fulham game or something. Yeah, we'll
I
do.
mean, it's our year anniversary of being a podcast in January anyway, so maybe we can do
I know.
it.
I can't believe that. I was thinking back to when we started, and it was kind of around the time when
We were in lockdown
we were
because I had nothing to
proper
do because I was
lockdown.
off work. Yeah.
Yeah, we were
And
proper
now
in
it's hard.
lockdown.
Now it's hard to keep it going.
I know. Yeah. Well, we might be back in the same position in January now, like full circle.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was like when we were in good form at the time. I think we beat Barnsley away. Might have been our first one.
Yeah, we
in
started
January.
the podcast, and then obviously we beat Norwich, and we were like, "Oh, we could win the league," and then it all went wrong.
Yeah, I think we jinxed the season.
Yeah,
It was all going well up until that.
Wasn't our fault.
No. Yeah, I remember we beat Norwich on that Friday night, and we were absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just write the January off forever now.
Yeah. Just no January ever.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll end it there then. So, cheers for coming on again, Lee.
No worries.
Hope your Christmas is good. So, and everyone watching as well, have a good Christmas. Have a good New Year. If we don't get something out next week, depends how busy I guess we both are, because it is that time in between Christmas and New Year. You never know what might come up. So hope you all have a good Christmas. Let us know in the comments what you thought about what we talked about today, especially the predictions, how you've got on with that. Don't forget to like the video and please subscribe. It helps us grow as a channel, and we really want to get to 500 to push on then with the ultimate goal again to 1,000, so we can start pushing the channel forward. 1,000 is one of the benchmarks for YouTube, so then we can start investing a little bit more in the channel when we get there. So we'd really appreciate anyone who helps us along that way. And so have a good Christmas and New Year. We shall catch you in the next video.
See you soon.